from one Bahamian to another. Shaune Miller-Uibo. She hasn't competed indoors this season. She is one of the superstars of our sport, and everyone is absolutely delighted she is here for the women's 400 metres. And if she's in top form, and if Femke Bol of the Netherlands, the hurdler and brilliant single lap performer, if she's in top form, I think that's one of the races of the games if they both get to the final.
You can see Stephanie Ann McPherson here, limbering up for the women's 400. See 4 heats of that later? Or was it more? Was it 5 heats?
Five even, yes. It's a tough qualification.
Just wrapped up 5 heats of the men's 400, and it is straight into 5 heats of the women's 400. This event is so entertaining. 2 automatic qualifiers into the semi-final at 6:35 this evening, and 2 non-automatic qualifiers. And here is your first heat out in lane 6 will be Ireland's Phil Healy. She hasn't finished outside the top 3 all season. So inside, very fast Lieke Klaver. She's come from a 200-metre background. She often gets to that break first. It'll be interesting to see her against Shaune Miller-Uibo later in this weekend. Lane 4 will be Sada Williams. Very close to that Olympic Games final with a 50.1 outdoors. Lane 3 with Jamaica's Renisha McGregor. Lots of 4x4 medals for her nation out here as an individual. Lane 2, Gunter Vatschul from Latvia, and completing the lineup in the tight inside lane with Katia Azevedo from Portugal. Great improvement outdoors, 50.59.
Just a quick update, Kendall Williams missed with that first attempt at 177.
Set.
It's the first heat of 5 of the women's 400 metres. Lieke Klaver of the Netherlands out there in lane 5, eating up the stagger on Phil Healy inside her. We expected this. Lieke Klaver is so good in this first 200, and she's got stronger in the second 200 every season we've seen her. At the moment, it looks like Lieke Klaver with a clear lead. Phil Healy fighting hard to get into that second position. She's got the best position of the rest of the field, but the field seems to have let Lieke Klaver run away with this. Sada Williams there, doing her best to get past Phil Healy. Phil Healy fighting hard on the back straight. Will these two pull themselves back to Lieke Klaver? Has Lieke Klaver paced this well? She's got 75 metres to go. Phil Healy is hunting her down. First 2 automatically into the semi-final. Lieke Klaver and Phil Healy. 25 metres to go. It is going to be Ireland's Phil Healy taking the victory from Lieke Klaver. Clock stops at 51.67. What a well-judged race from the Irishwoman.
Little clap of the hands. She should be applauding herself. Klaver has a habit of going out like a bullet and then ending up having to hang on, which is a bold, very painful way to run. She is safely through. 51.96 to Phil Healy's 51.75. Sada Williams was a long way back in the end, actually, 52.65, but she put the Irishwoman under a little bit of pressure. But look how controlled Healy was around that last 120 metres. She knew what she was doing.
It was very calm off Phil Healy there. She could tell she was closing in on Lieke Klaver, but she didn't worry about moving wide until she needed to. She hugged that bend, she ran the shortest line, and that left her that energy to just squeeze past Lieke Klaver. I think I often think Lieke Klaver, she's got so much speed. It's almost her enemy sometimes. She blasted through that first 200. She was unchallenged. She was so far ahead of the field. And then you almost relax slightly, and it's hard to keep that momentum going. I think heats might be hard for Klaver, but if she can get into that semi-final, I expect her to navigate that quite well as well. But congratulations to Phil Healy of Ireland. Fantastically well-judged race. A great finish there to take that first place.
And a very good time as well, 51.75. I think this is shaping up to be one of the events of the weekend.
See that result there. Phil Healy, 51.75. Lieke Klaver, 51.96. We will collect 2 non-automatic qualifiers. That's not very many over 5 heats. Sada Williams gave it a brave go in that second lap. She did fade slightly, so we'll try and keep.
Femke Bol, yeah, wow. One of the athletes of the last 2 years, I reckon. She's been unbelievable. Almost every time she's raced on the Diamond League, she's got quicker and quicker and quicker.
But you can see her talking there to her coach, Lauren Mobley. He seems to be behind so much of the fantastic results that are coming out of the Netherlands and of Switzerland. He's coached there before. But you can see Femke Bol just getting a bit of advice off him as she does her warm-up.
Three different generations coming to enjoy the athletics. I bet he can tell some stories about the wonderful sport he's watched here in Serbia over the years. Not full yet, but we are assured ticket sales are good. They're 2 familiar figures. They're well known in terms of athletics social media coverage here in Belgrade to enjoy this 3-day feast of global athletics. And we're about to see someone who could be one of the stars of the weekend in this second heat of the women's 400. Amy Pippi on the outside for Great Britain. Semis in the Olympic Games last year. Femke Bol, 3rd fastest 400 hurdler in history. Brilliant bronze last year behind McLaughlin and Mohammed. She goes in 5. Teresa Petrzylkova, national indoor champion. Now, what about Jess Beard? 2nd in the national championship. She is so experienced, so many relay gold medals, going back all the way to Berlin in 09. Mika Powell, daughter of long jumper Mike. And their mum was a brilliant 400 hurdler as well. Talk about great sporting genes. Powell in 2 for Canada, Beard USA 3. Petrzylkova of Czech Republic in 4. Femke Bol, the favourite, in 5. And Ame Pippi of Great Britain on the outside in 6. Bol against Miller-Uibo could be one of the finals of the weekend. But first, they both have to get there.
Set.
What fireworks will we see flying from Femke Bol in this second heat of the women's 400 metres? Petrzylkova just going backwards. Jess Beard beginning to try and close the gap on the Dutch woman who's coming up onto Ame Pippi's shoulder. Bol just looks so relaxed and so comfortable. Hits the front with Pippi in 2nd and Beard in 3rd. 24.3 at the bell. They're fairly well spaced out now. Petrzylkova trying to come back on Beard. The American hanging on to 3rd and trying to put Pippi under pressure for that 2nd automatic spot. But Bol is out on her own, in a class of her own. She's barely out of breath here. This is a great declaration of intent ahead of the semis and the final. Bol takes it. Pippi managing to outperform Beard for the 2nd automatic spot. 51.48, and there is so much left in that tank. So much.
It looked like she got out of 3rd gear. It was just so cool, calm and collected, and just left all that battling behind her. I hope we get a replay of Ann Pippi's last 50 metres, because it was really, really, really impressive. She must have saved something. I like to think, look at these indoor tracks, the finishing line's not always at the same place. Sometimes it's halfway down. This is a long finishing straight, so you have to leave yourself something. Ann Pippi got herself a great position there. She got herself the shortest running line, forcing Jessica Beard wide. Those who had a real battle for that last automatic qualifying spot. But Femke Bol just glided away. We saw her looking relaxed in the warm-up area, and she looked relaxed throughout this 400 metres to win this second heat in commanding fashion. You almost think, have a look around, slow down, save some energy, but I think she was already doing that.
There's a lot of quality athletes still to watch in these heats of the women's 4, with Sweetie Ercetic coming in the 3rd heat, and then Miller-Uibo in the 5th and final heat. But it's going to need to be something very impressive to look easier than that 51.4 for a place in the semis. She's on a brilliant trajectory at the moment. Every time she races, she gets quicker, she gets more confident, she gets more accolades. Femke Bol takes that one, 51.48. Ann Pippi in 2nd. Jess Beard will have an anxious wait, 52.72. Could she make it through as one of the 2 non-automatic qualifiers? A hive of activity on the infield now. Plenty more 400s to come as well.
So this is the 3rd heat of the women's 400, and we start with Justyna Sweetie Ercetic of Poland. 3 world indoor finals, but she has never got an individual medal at these championships. Could she do it this weekend in Belgrade? Lane 5, Milada Vondrova led a Czech 1-2 at the European Under-23 Championships last summer. She's good on the senior scene as well. On her inside will be Jessie Knight, British champion. Better known over 400-metre hurdles outdoors, but always performs well on the indoor circuit as well. Lane 3 will be Ireland's Sophie Becker. Should have seen Phil Healy take a fantastic victory in that first heat. Massively inspiring. Lane 2, Megan Moss from the Bahamas, just 19 years old. Represented the Bahamas in Tokyo in that Olympic Games, and now here at this World Indoor Championships.
On your marks.
Heat 3 of 5 in the women's 400 metres.
Set.
It's a long hold there before they brought into the set position. You see Vondrova there, the Czech Republic, eating up the stagger on Sweetie Ercetic. But Sophie Becker's going fast on the inside as well. And Jessie Knight's responding to that. This will be a real battle for the pole position as they come through to break out of lanes. They're 4 abreast. Sophie Becker on the inside of Ireland, and it's going to be Sweetie Ercetic of Poland using all her experience. But Jessie Knight has exited the track. Vondrova pushed her off the collided with her. Jessie Knight left the track, and Jessie Knight now trying to get back on turn to Sweetie Ercetic. She stayed out of trouble in the lead. That is going to be something for the track judges to look at. But Poland, Justyna Sweetie Ercetic kept herself out of trouble. She is going to run away with the victory in this third heat. But Jessie Knight and Vondrova fighting for the second automatic spot into the semi-final. Jessie Knight and Vondrova really crossing that line in a very tight finish. We'll have to wait for the final result. Jessie Knight shakes her head. Sweetie Ercetic given that victory, and at the moment it looks like Jessie Knight in 2nd place ahead of Vondrova. Get a replay of that, the end of that first lap. It was full of drama.
Well, Sweetie Ercetic came through. Vondrova gave Knight a little shove. 1, 2, 3, possibly even 4 steps on the infield for Jessie Knight, who is in second place as it stands at the moment by a few hundredths of a second, but she was pushed onto the inside of the track. No problem for Sweetie Ercetic. She's away and clear. That wasn't Jessie Knight's fault.
It wasn't, and she had to fight so hard. You can see these athletes are so conditioned, and you often don't see that until you see the athleticism there. Hurdling a little microphone, getting back on. She propelled herself into Vondrova, but a word for Sophie Becker as well. That really upset her rhythm, the Irish athlete there. You can see her with the green vest. She would have a ground to say, I was impeded there, I could have done better. So there'll be a lot to look at there for the judges. Jessie Knight composed herself well. She would have been flooded with adrenaline and now flooded with lactic. Fought really hard to hold on to that second place, but you can see Sweetie Ercetic there using all her experience to stay out of trouble and then just push on a tiny bit in that last 40 metres as well, but save something for that semi-final. And Vondrova there, for me, not automatically qualified, but had a really messy race there. But such is indoor 400-metre running.
Well, we've seen a little bit of everything in the men's and women's heats of this 2-lap indoor race. Sweetie Ercetic, the Tour winner, she's in fine form. It's her favourite event, and she looks really good.
We have got an official result there. Justina Sweetie Ercetic, 52.37 from Jessie Knight, 52.93, just 100th ahead of Lada Vondrova. Sophie Becker there in 4th, and Megan Moss in 5th. So Vondrova, is she in the shot for a non-automatic qualifying spot?
No, I'm just looking. Sada Williams, the Bahamian, 52.65, and Jess Beard, the American, I think, 52.72. They are the 2 quickest non-automatics at the moment, with 2 heats still to run. Alia Abrams goes in heat 4. We've got 5 in the women's 400 in total. At the moment, the non-automatic spots, Sada Williams of Bahamas, 52.65, and Jess Beard of the United States, 52.72. But a lot could change between now and the end of qualifying in these 400s. Dance music's pumping. So much more drama still to come. 2 heats to go in the women's 4. And the reigning 2-time Olympic champion, Shaune Miller-Uibo, goes in the last of the heats, the Bahamian, hoping to take the world indoor title. Haven't seen her on the indoor circuit this season, unlike Femke Bol, who's been running beautifully. Lena Irby of the United States on the outside, national indoor champion, got a mixed bronze in the 4x4 at the Olympic Games last year. Natalia Kazmarek, 2 relay medals last year. Gold in that mixed event in which Irby took the bronze. Alia Abrams, semi-finalist in Doha at the World Champs and last year in Tokyo at the Olympics. To Camilla Laus, her partner is Kevin Borlée. What a husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend team they would make over the 400. Elina Vassilou, semi-finals in London 5 years ago at the Worlds, and Sarah Gallego, 4 times a national champion over the 400 hurdles. She's on the inside for Spain in 1. So Gallego.
On your mark.
Vassilou, Greece in 2, Laos, Belgium 3, Abrams, Guyana 4, Kazmarek, Poland in 5, and Irby on the outside. There's Kazmarek, 8th fastest in the world this year. looking to finish in the top 2 for a place in the semis.
Set.
An expectant hush around the stadium. Miller-Uibo's gone out very hard in this penultimate heat of the women's 400 metres. Abrams trying to close down on Kaczmarek, very experienced athlete from Poland who now comes wide on the American's shoulder. Watch as well for Laos and Belgium trying to close the gap on the leading trio, but it's Kaczmarek at the moment from Uibo with Abrams. 24.2. It's pretty quick, but you'd expect that. Kaczmarek, mixed relay gold medalist from less than 12 months ago, determined to take one of these first 2 automatic spots. But watch Abrams coming up onto the shoulder of Miller-Uibo. The battle for the top 2 isn't over yet. Kaczmarek just needs to maintain her focus. Abrams coming wide on the outside. Kaczmarek responds. Poland and Guyana safely through. Laos came through ahead of the tired Uibo of the United States for 3rd, which she'll have to wait and see whether she can challenge those non-automatic spots. That was very, very good from Natalia Kaczmarek. She showed her class there, and she showed why Poland have used her in so many global relay finals. Safely through.
Well judged race there from Kaczmarek, much like her compatriot Justina Svitiercetic in the heat before. Kaczmarek just controlling the race from the front. Uibo looked full of running at this point, and she just ran out of legs in the last 100 metres. She came under pressure from Abrams. Abrams here running wide. She had to. She wanted to give herself a shot at the automatic top 2, qualifying into the semi-final. Kaczmarek was away and gone. Abrams with a strong last 40. But look at Camille Laus there for Belgium, sneaking through on the inside, powering herself ahead of the American athlete to sneak into 3rd place and give herself a shot at that semi-final.
And ahead of another American, Jess Beard, who now doesn't stay in contention for a non-automatic spot. Laos has got a chance with 52.51. Sada Williams is now the slowest of the 2 non-automatic qualifiers at 52.65 with just 1 heat remaining. But I was really impressed there with Kaczmarek.
No, that was calm, it was controlled. There's not really a big screen here. You often see the 400 metres use a big screen if there's one on the bend, sort of gauge their effort. They haven't really got that, but Natalia Kaczmarek, nonetheless, managing to pace it really well and save just enough to stay ahead of Alaya Abrams there in 2nd place.
Natalia Kaczmarek safely through. Abrams the 2nd spot. Camilla Laus with a season's best has got a chance of going through as one of the 2 non-automatic qualifiers.
That is the one of those age-old coaching questions. Do you hang around on the inside and hope for a gap?
Now, how excited are we about this 5th and final heat, Hannah? The Olympic champion. Cannot wait to see how she goes here.
I'm not sure I can take it. It's so much drama in the men's event. Let's hope this is a simpler race. Starting from the outside, Modesta Morauskaitė, Lithuania, previous Lithuanian snowboarding champion. Don't know if that will come in use today. Stephanie Ann McPherson in lane 5. She won the recent Grand Prix in Birmingham. Looked good there. So experienced on the circuit. Lane 4, Roxana Gomez, 3-time Cuban champion. She's broken 50 outdoors. Here we go, another Serbian athlete. Listen to that crowd. Maja Kiric, national indoor record holder. She'll be enjoying every moment here in Belgrade. But in lane 2, the 2-time Olympic champion, Shaune Miller-Uibo. We haven't seen her compete since Tokyo. We don't know exactly what form she's in, and we are really excited to see it. Completing the lineup in lane 1 will be Yannick Hay-Smith, the only representative here from the Turks and Caicos Islands. What an opportunity for her to be at this World Indoor Championships and have a 2-time Olympic champion outside her. Tight lane 2 for the tall Shaune Miller-Uibo. It's the 5th and final heat of the women's 400 metres. Looking for 2 automatic qualifiers and 2 non-automatic.
Set.
You'd think Shaune Miller-Uibo's 200-metre speed would be enough to bring her round in first place in this first lap, but she has got that tight lane to concede with. You can see now she's opening her stride. Now we see Shaune Miller-Uibo moving at her normal cadence. She had to negotiate that first turn, but she's done that well, and she will come in the lead. It's all battling behind her, but Shaune Miller-Uibo is coming away. Ann McPherson has used all her experience to get into second place, but it is the two-time Olympic champion in the lead, but she's going to have some company from behind. McPherson is going to come under pressure from Morauskaitė, who is going to get into these top two automatic places. Shaune Miller-Uibo, she looks like she's got another gear. She looks smooth, she looks controlled, but she's got to react if someone comes around her outside. Ann McPherson working hard to get that second position in the event. In the end, a nice smooth event there for that fifth and final heat. I was worried as we came into the bell. There were so many women battling for a position behind Shaune Miller-Uibo, but no trouble there for Miller-Uibo. She will automatically qualify into the semi-final. We haven't seen her race since Tokyo, but that was pretty good.
Very composed run. 51.48 for Bol, looked effortless. 51.74 from Miller-Uibo, looked equally impressive. Game on in the duel for gold over 2 laps in Belgrade.
Roxana Gomez with 52.25. Provisional confirmation at the moment she's in the second time qualifier spot, and 2-time qualifier not taken in that last heat.
We're going to bring you the result of that fifth and final heat. You can see there, confirming that win in a season's best. She's not raced yet. Shaune Miller-Uibo, 51.74. Ann McPherson, 51.86. And Morauskaitė there. We think that might be enough for non-automatic qualifying time. And Roxana Gomez as well, giving herself a season's best and a spot in that semi-final. We will bring you the full qualifiers into this evening's semi-final. That will be at 6:35. But that might have just been the heat of dreams there for Morauskaitė and Gomez. You would hope that Miller-Uibo could pull you around to a non-automatic qualifying time, and that might be what's happened.
Miller-Uibo and Bol were barely out of breath in the heats. It'll be slightly harder in the semis. Yet another event warming up nicely. Here's a confirmation of all the women safely through to the semis, and look at the two names at the top. Femke Bol, Shaune Miller-Uibo, both looking brilliant. Excellent qualification from Healy, who just seems like she's tailor-made for the indoor circuit. Ann McPherson showing all her experience. Klaver went out like a steam train and hung on. She might have to be a little more sophisticated with her tactics in the semis. And Bondrova and Amma Pippi completing the qualifiers, both coming home inside 53 seconds.